When I took my mother for her regular checkup as she was suffering from fatty liver, a doctor greeted me with excitement. I looked at him and became numb for a while. He was there in front of me after 7 years, and I couldn't imagine that was him. I was shocked and happy at the same time. I must say he was looking handsome as always with his signature tilted smile. He shook my hand and said, "Meet Surgeon Joy." His introduction amused me because it meant he had achieved that milestone for which he was passionate. I was overwhelmed for him. How can I forget his hard work during our struggling days? He was such an ambitious person. In May 2019, after completing my graduation, I started working as an internee in a government hospital. I was performing my duty in the medicine ward. One day while checking a patient I heard a voice which was quite impressive. I was wondering who the person was and he was there exactly on my right side, taking vitals of his patient. He had an attractive personality. Being his colleague, we started sharing our work and used to spend our free time for some medical research. His fellows told me about his achievements, that he has remained as one of the best students, and is a gold medalist too. We can call him a shining star of his institute. I always admire how lucky he is, having such an achievement in his life. He must be proud of himself. One day in the cafe, while discussing a patient, I said to him that, "Joy, you are so lucky. You have everything in your life. You get what you want." He smiled and looked at me. His mysterious smile was saying a lot. I became nervous. He said, "No one gets everything." Joy remained silent for a while and started revealing his shocking yet inspiring story. Joy's father was a neurosurgeon, while his mother was a lecturer in cadet college. They were a happy couple with adorable children. Their life was like a real-time fairy tale. But every glitter was not gold. When his parents were blessed with his fourth brother, they started fighting over silly things, and soon these fights turned into nightmare for Joy and his siblings. His mother was diagnosed with schizophrenia. She started acting wildly. At that time schizophrenia was not so common, so her relatives started calling her a psycho lady. She left her home and started living in her mother's home with her 3 children. Joy said life there became miserable. They used to live with their mother and with their father on weekend. They desperately wanted their family reunion, but all in vain. In this time Joy and his sibling continued their studies. Joy started spending his time mostly with books. After 4 years, when Joy was in 9th standard, he topped and won a gold medal. That was the winning moment for him, but it turned into a nightmare in a day when both his parents decided to mutually separate. Now they were officially separated. I saw tears coming from Joy's eyes. I could feel his pain. Joy's mother was becoming vulnerable for others due to her declining mental state, and she decided to give custody of her children to their father. She made that hard decision for the future of her children, as there was a more established person than her to take care of them. Although Joy's parents had issues, both of them love each other and their children very much. His father moved to another city, and they started living there. Although they were sad, but their father provided them with everything they needed. In his higher secondary school, Joy was titled as Student of the Year, and he was a brilliant student. After completing his higher school, he was preparing for his medical college as he wanted to be a doctor. But something bad was on his way. This was the shocking news for everyone, as Joy didn't pass his entrance exams. Joy said, "I became extremely saddened and locked myself up in a room." But the worst news was knocking the door, as his mother just died from a cardiac arrest. Then Joy started crying, and I consoled him. "We all have to return to God." He continued and said, both news, especially his mother's demise, left him in depression, and he quit his studies. He was facing backlash and taunts due to his failure in exams, as his mother was not in this world. All these things were enough to break him. Joy said, "Life was worst when one day my father gave me a handwritten note from my mother, which she wrote on my birth. She wrote, 'Welcome Dr. Joy.' Yes, it was his mother's dream to make him a doctor like his father. This note changed Joy's perspective towards life. He started studying again, and this time God was planning something better for him, and he topped his entrance exams and secured a top medical college seat. Joy said, "After that, I didn't look back. I wanted to make my mother proud from heaven. She gave me strength even though she was absent." His story is a lesson to not give up after one failure. During my internship, I remained witness of his success. God had a special blessing on him. He cleared all his exams on first attempts. After graduation, he remained as best house officer of that hospital. He continued to further his studies and cleared the Fellow of College of Physician and Surgeons test on his first attempt. After that, he cleared the Professional and Linguistics Assessment Board test, PLAB-1. Truly, he was the star, born to shine. While he was continued in his achievements, my internship was completed, and I left that hospital and continued my practices in another institute. We both became busy in our life and hadn't contacted each other. After so many years, I met him again, and he told me that after clearing his PLAB, he cleared PLAB-2 on the first attempt and started working as a practitioner in England. Then after that, he came back to Pakistan, and now he is providing his services to the community. He is really a proud son of his father. We left with the promise of meeting again. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this story. For more stories like this, please subscribe and turn on notification. If you can like, share or comment, it will be very helpful to me and very much appreciated.